2014 was a big year for WTVY, a number of stories making headlines. A Wiregrass school superintendent caught in the middle of a scandal, and we were there as the situation developed.
Although fired school superintendent Tim Wilder has been on a paid suspension since October 27th, it's official. He will not come back to the district.
In late January, our region was caught in an ice storm, not seen in the Wiregrass for years.
Just imagine an inch and a half of ice coating power lines, tree limbs. This is not a good situation, even roads in some parts of the Wiregrass.
And News 4 was there as the Far East came to the Southeast, signed on the dotted line, and opened the Wiregrass for international business.
This place can become a lighthouse for all these 13 states, and it will help us to learn to live together and work out our issues.
Hello everyone, I'm Reginald Jones.
And I'm Natasha Chugte. We're the evening anchors at WTVY in Dothan.
Our station prides itself on being the hometown news leader, but we're also the powerhouse in this market for sports, weather, and community outreach. And
now the staff at News 4 wants to prove we can take the top spot in the state.
Perhaps the biggest story of the year for us happened inside this building. An alleged sexual harassment case between a school superintendent and his employee had all eyes on Dothan City Schools.
On November 14th, the Dothan City School Board ended former school superintendent Tim Wilder's future with the system.
I move to terminate the contract with the Superintendent Tim Wilder, effective immediately.
After nearly 3 hours of deliberation, Tim Wilder no longer has a job with the Dothan City school system.
Dothan City School Board Attorney Jerry Seacrest says this is the first time during his tenure that a superintendent has gone through this type of proceeding.
The move comes after allegations surfaced of inappropriate contact with a fellow employee, including text messages reportedly of a suggestive nature.
Hours of testimony and questioning were only the beginning for the school board. After hearing everything presented, they headed into executive session to make a decision that would ultimately change the course of the school district.
That the superintendent be suspended with pay until the board makes a decision after said hearing.
Tori Etheridge was emotional as she recalled the controversial relationship she shared with her boss.
I'm a young woman with a family. I did what I had to do.
Not one time ever, my secretary or me or any director, did she go to and say, he makes me feel uncomfortable.
Clause 9 in Wilder's contract states the board may terminate Wilder for incompetence, immorality.
My voice was heard today for about 1 hour. The other side has been heard for about 2.5 weeks.
Now, apparently on October 29th, Wilder was given the reasons for his suspension. They actually went to his house to give him those reasons.
Here in downtown Port St. Joe, Tim Wilder's hometown, it's hard to find anybody to say something bad about the guy.
We just think he's good people, and I think they ought to just kind of give him a shot at it and let him work things out, whatever's going on.
He said, I had the wildest dream last night. He said he followed in behind me, and that he said, in his words, I ate that and you were screaming and hollering and loving it, and he said, but the weirdest thing is we didn't even.
Why were there 2 or 3 affidavits signed and sworn to? Why? If that was the whole truth and nothing but the truth, put it in the first one and go with it.
What is the motive there if none of this is true?
I can't answer that. She would have to answer that.
So what's next? Will Wilder sue the Dothan Board of Education?
I'm not prepared today to say that we're going to fight it in circuit court or federal court. I know that those options do exist.
You know, I think the board made their own decision. We certainly don't agree with it.
In March, the Far East came to the Southeast for the U.S.-China Manufacturing Symposium.
It was held in the Dothan Civic Center behind us, and it was an effort to bring foreign investment to the Wiregrass area, and we were there when the deals were sealed.
At 12:20 today, Dothan Mayor Mike Schmitz is expected to make a major economic announcement.
There are actually 3 pretty big economic announcements. While they may not be creating a ton of jobs, Mayor Mike Schmitz says these are strategic moves that could create future opportunities for the Circle City.
Well, Reg, I spoke with several leaders, and so far they say they're optimistic about the potential for the U.S. and China to do business.
Hundreds of people showed up here at the Dothan Civic Center to learn more about manufacturing jobs here in the Wiregrass.
The sponsorship tent is an important aspect of the Chinese Symposium because it gives local counties and cities an opportunity to talk one-on-one with different Chinese visitors to showcase their communities as well as the businesses in their area in hopes that our Chinese visitors will make the South their new home.
We are coming to you live today from the Dothan Civic Center, the center of the U.S.-China Manufacturing Symposium.
I'm joined by Graham Tromans. He is a 3D printing consultant, Vice President of Sozo Group. George Harris, former U.S. Undersecretary of International Trade and Commerce Francisco Sanchez, Alabama State Representative Steve Klaus.
3 states.
And we're ready to do business with you.
5 cities.
We have the airport. We have universities. We are prepared to help you succeed.
And plenty of passion.
We are a great place to make a living, but we are a great place to make a life.
On January 28, 2014, the Southeast was in the grip of a powerful winter storm. It stranded drivers on highways from Atlanta to Birmingham and dropped ice and snow as far south as the Gulf Coast.
Here in the Wiregrass, we had our own set of problems to deal with as Mother Nature and Old Man Winter combined for a historic storm.
Some of the freezing rain and sleet started right around 2 o'clock, and for folks up in Pike County and Troy and in Barber County, it's been going on for most of the day, but now almost everybody in the Wiregrass seeing some frozen precipitation.
It is a winter storm in the Wiregrass.
Rachel, what are the conditions like right now? News 4's Mike Gersman. Victoria, how do those roads look right now? Courtney Crown continues our team coverage.
We've had some ice accumulations in this band of somewhere between an inch and an inch and a half.
Houston County roads are going to be closing at 6 p.m. tonight. They will remain closed until further notice.
I mean, road conditions are on everybody's mind, especially in Enterprise, Coffee County area.
Take a look over here at these plants. It looks like they're just getting wet, but it's more than that. They are actually freezing.
Trooper Cook, tell me a little bit about what's the update in Houston County and the surrounding areas.
It is sleeting, and folks, I'm going to report I have actually seen several snow flurries.
Salvation Army has a feeding station set up here at Home Depot. They're going to be open until 10 tonight.
Well, what a day it's been. We've had a lot of reports in the last couple of hours of tree limbs down, of power lines down, lots of ice covering roadways.
Let's take a look at this utility pole right here, and you can see that the ice is already starting to stick.
Effective immediately, we are closing all streets in the city of Enterprise.
And it really looks like people have been taking the advice from officials outside, staying off the road.
We had our share of tragedies in 2014. A number of times our newscast led with murder. Wiregrass residents taken suddenly.
One of the victims lived in the home behind us, and although they're no longer with us, their stories live on.
Rebecca Jackson was planning on going to church when she talked to her mother Wednesday.
2 Dothan children lose their mother, and now her ex-husband is behind bars for her murder.
We urged her to report whatever was going on. I urged her to change her number and, all those things. Cut off communication in case things got out of hand. But when someone is determined to cause harm, they will make arrangements to do so.
Dothan police are on the scene of a shooting in the 1000 block of Eugene Street.
It was like bow, 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 bow.
Police say 30-year-old Daniel Dawsey was shot in the head during an argument.
The suspect is Emmanuel Bryant. He's considered armed and dangerous.
Emmanuel Terrell Bryant was arrested for Tuesday night's shooting.
It shouldn't take violence to help you to understand what's right and what's wrong.
There is no closure in a homicide ever because you want your life to be like it was prior to the victimization, and it never will be.
Nobody wants to see, a child lose their parent, and much less both of them, and much less, one parent at the hands of the other.
Everyone that knew her loved her. She had that effect on people. She was just like an angel.
Last year, more than 80 people died in fires across Alabama, and while the Wiregrass didn't see many fatal fires, we did see our share of fires that left families with no place to stay.
From a house exploding in January to an entire apartment building being destroyed, WTVY was there. A full investigation is underway after a deadly house explosion in the Wiregrass. Firefighters are still on the scene of an afternoon fire in Dothan. The blaze broke out at Westgate Village Apartments.
17 families are homeless after a fire tore through Barstone Apartments in Dothan.
A number of units responded to a fire on Dothan's northeast side.
This Newton neighborhood is shaken after the house behind me exploded suddenly.
I'm in front of Building P at Westgate Village Apartments, where there is significant structural damage.
Witnesses say the flames at Barstone Apartments on Honeysuckle Road grew taller than trees. Investigators suspect arson in that house fire on Dothan's northeast side.
Houston County Coroner Robert Byrd says one of the victims, identified as George Williams III, died from a gunshot wound prior to the fire. 85-year-old Marion Ewell lived in the home that went up in flames this afternoon.
The first explosion, it sounded like kind of like a medium boom. And then by the time I had turned around, I'd say within 15-30 seconds, we heard the big boom.
Really bad damage. You can see why it's a total loss, but there is a silver lining here. You see these children playing behind me. They're still in good spirits, and it has not broken their spirit at all.
We're alive. We're alive to this day.
For several days in September, all eyes were trained on Headland, a small community just east of Dothan. 2 local pilots on a routine flight never made it to their destination.
The search crossed land and sea, and it spanned 2 states.
Authorities are searching for a plane that left Headlands Airport yesterday.
The last seen somewhere between Headland and the Chattahoochee River.
Local and state agencies continue their search.
A wooden 2-seater L4 Piper Cub model plane. It's green in color with white markings saying C-69 on the side of that plane.
Family and loved ones fear the worst.
There was no electrical system, no transponder to indicate speed, altitude, or direction of travel, so that does make this search a little more complicated.
Teams are searching from the air, on the ground, and on the water.
Anybody that has property anywhere between Headland Airport and Eufaula to please get out and search your property.
The Civil Air Patrol has narrowed its search to a 1 square mile area along the Chattahoochee River.
They have released the names of the 2 men who were both retired Army pilots.
It's been 6 days since a small plane went down somewhere between Headland and Eufaula.
After a week of searching for 2 pilots who went missing, a clue sends law enforcement from the land and air to water.
A section of the Chattahoochee River has been closed as boats and divers are searching for the missing men.
A plane missing from Henry County for more than a week has been found.
Authorities say the plane and the 2 men were found inside at the bottom of the Chattahoochee River around 10:30 this morning. The plane was just pulled from the water.
All year, WTVY teamed up with this car dealership, Solomon Chevrolet, to make miracles happen.
We've given away $500 to 20 families. The only catch, we had to do it in less than an hour.
So it is your turn to have a miracle.
Thank you so much. How did I deserve such a sweet thing?
This will help out tremendously. It'll help out tremendously. We get the rest of our bills paid. And definitely, I'm going to give some up to my church.
Starting in July, we decided to leave our building and take Live at Lunch on the road. We visited cities all across the Wiregrass.
We highlighted their past accomplishments and explored their future plans.
We are live out at Fort Rucker here in downtown Enterprise, downtown Ozark, peanut capital of the world, Blakely, beautiful downtown Dothan, downtown Headland, downtown Geneva here at Appland Farms.
Let me tell you a story about a bold wheel.
And how's your ice cream?
I'm gonna be eating this the rest of the day.
No matter where Joe Adams goes in Ozark, chances are he has a family connection.
He was my great-great-great-grandfather.
Eagle Stadium, a field of dreams, history, and amazing stories.
The lights are on in the Holman Mansion on Ozark's Broad Street once again.
Now, I'm out here in front of Smitty's Grill, a popular lunch destination in Blakely. Now, I've never been here before, but we're about to go inside and check it out. So my food's here. We'll see how it goes. Now, guys, I can personally say that everything they say about Smitty's is completely true. Now, I know y'all couldn't be here today, but I made something for Smitty's to remember all of us by. A napkin to go on the wall.
All right, well, we're going to end it here, and we're going to wave goodbye to you guys while we go on our tractor ride to the pumpkin patch. Thanks again for joining us.
It is a Wiregrass tradition, the National Peanut Festival. It attracts thousands each year and culminates right here on these grounds.
This year, the Peanut Festival celebrated 71 years in the Circle City, and we were there every step of the way.
We are live here at the 71st Annual National Peanut Festival.
Hold that, buddy. Hold that. Hold that.
Look how
Hold that.
patient.
You're not going to put your head back very far, are you? Head back, head back, head back, head back. Get it, sport. Good boy.
Oh my goodness.
Bring it here, sporty.
Oh, it looks like they're getting ready to do something.
Competition right there, and he is off. That's what it looks like, Natasha. And his name is Bentley. Loves bananas.
He's so excited.
He is. And
His
so he's
teeth look
very
really
rare.
sharp.
So
You're just handing me this.
Yeah, I am handing it because she was getting heavy.
I have the best view at the National Peanut Festival.
Oh, I just have one question for you. What do you feel, or how do you feel about having a new home?
It was also a big year in local sports, with teams making championship runs. One of the biggest names in Wiregrass sports history also said goodbye. But it all started at the very beginning of 2014, all the way on the West Coast at the Rose Bowl.
Auburn and Florida State battled in the final BCS championship game, with the Seminoles rallying in the final minute to cap a perfect season, hoisting the Crystal football. Throughout the year, local high school teams made their championship runs as well. The Elba boys basketball team rose up at the perfect time, toppling Luverne for a championship. The Brantley girls followed suit, winning their second straight 1A crown in Birmingham.
On the diamond, the Houston Academy and Charles Henderson baseball teams both rose to the occasion, capturing championships in Montgomery.
And when high school football season rolled around, 3 teams reached the summit. Dale County and Elba fell short in championship game losses, but Abbeville Christian pulled through, capturing the school's first ever state title.
College football season brought a beginning and an end. Alabama earned the top seed in the inaugural college football playoff. And in Troy, head coach Larry Blakeney said goodbye after 24 years on the Trojan sidelines.
Early this year, we embarked on a Get Healthy initiative. We teamed up 4 on-air personalities with winners in a contest.
It was a Fit for Life challenge, and the results were astounding.
I lost 34.5 inches, which is amazing. And I lost 25 pounds. So that's awesome. And 3.7% body fat.
I gained positive weight and lost fat and found out that my overall results were what I was going for. So I feel healthier, and I lost inches where I wanted to and gained them where I wanted to. So I'm good.
My total weight loss 14 pounds, which is still good. 22 inches total and 0.6% body fat.
It's pretty intense. I go to the advanced classes. I was in classes with people that have been working out and training hard for years. So everything that they were doing, what came easy to them, I didn't really see many people even breaking a sweat till the very end.
It's been really cool having Nate there, knowing that both of us are in this together. There's some of the workouts we do are partner workouts, and I've been teamed up with Nate a lot. Just the encouragement that he offers.
I think the personal training for me worked best because I have so many health issues. I can definitely tell a difference. My legs and my lower back don't bother me as much as they did.
It really has been an incredible journey, and I can honestly say Natalie has been my inspiration.
Wouldn't trade that experience for the world. John's great. He's was very, very dedicated. Couldn't ask for a better partner.
I am extremely proud of Lisa. She's done it extremely well.
WTVY is happy to make miracles happen in the Wiregrass. We've been doing our Miracle on Foster Street food drive for 2 years now.
This year, we raised more than 27,000 pounds of food for our local food bank to help needy Wiregrass families.
The Wiregrass, their donations have been so inspiring today. I mean, people really coming out and going above and beyond to give back.
This morning, you know, that first person came, came with a big old ham. It's like 40-pound ham and turkey and flour, sugar, oil. I mean, everything that you would think that someone wanted to have at their own dinner, they're bringing it.
Well, many of you donated to WTVY's Miracle on Foster Street annual food drive today, and we're pleased to announce that there was about 5,000 more pounds donated this year compared to last year. In total, more than 25,000 pounds of food was raised.
That includes canned foods, turkeys, and financial donations, and we'd like to say thank you to all of you who helped.
Thank you so much for stopping.
WTVY is committed to having a meaningful impact on the communities we serve. We make an effort to make that our mission every day.
And we'd like to thank you for reviewing our entry as you consider us for TV Station of the Year.